when my oldest brother was an 8th grader at Santa Isabel, my brother and I were both at Euclid Elementary. I was a 1st grade student, and my other brother was a 4th grade student. And when Mr. Almazan, when he graduated from Santa Isabel, the principal at the time, Sister Joanne Marie, she was surprised to find out that there were more of us. They're like, oh, you have more kids. Like we can send them to our school. Like we can make sure that we'll have more opportunities for your children to attend our school. And at the time, it was difficult for our parents to afford additional students at Santa Isabel. And I think through the support and the guidance and the financial aid that they were able to provide, they were able to provide more support for us to actually attend Santa Isabel Elementary School. And it was during that time that I really understood the power and the purpose that a school like Santa Isabel had on me and my brothers, knowing that there were teachers that really transformed and shaped our lives. As a 4th grade student at Miss Olea, and my mom was just telling me right now that if it wasn't for Miss Olea, I wouldn't have known that I needed glasses, because I would always squint. I was squinting in class and I couldn't see the board, and my grades weren't that great. And I was like, wait, like why? I know I could do well in school, but it was for some reason I just couldn't do well. And then Miss Olea told my parents, like, I think Steven needs to go to the eye doctor just to make sure if he needs glasses. So I want to thank Miss Olea for helping me see. And not only Miss Olea, but teachers like Mrs. Silva, who helped me go on to an academic pathway to take algebra when I was in 8th grade. And for teachers like Mr. Ibarra, who bought me an LA Times subscription, and all the students in our class an opportunity just so that we can read and really be informed about the decisions that are being made around us. And growing up, knowing that I was on a path to go to a really great school like Salesian. My older brothers graduated from Salesian in 2002 and in 2006, and knowing that we had I had a big shoes to fill, knowing that 1, they graduated from high school, but 2, going on to college. But also knowing that through that experience, that as someone who comes from a neighborhood that at the time didn't realize was a working class neighborhood, at the time didn't realize at one point was the gang capital of the US. At one point not knowing that this neighborhood is a loving and supportive environment, but also at the same time a place where there are pockets of hope, like Santa Isabel, like St. Mary's, like Resurrection, like Salesian, like Sacred Heart. And knowing that through the support of teachers and through the support of administrators and through the support of counselors, students like myself, students like yourselves can go on and do great things. I also credit a lot of the success, my health success at Salesian. At the time, I was a pretty chubby kid, and when I was growing up, there used to be a lot of tortilla factories in Boyle Heights, and I would always associate the smell of tortillas with school, and school with tortillas, and because of that, I gained a lot of weight. And when I was at Salesian, Mr. Johnson encouraged me to go join cross country and track. I actually previously was part of the football team as a freshman. That's how big I was. And then my brother told me, he's like, you're not doing well in football. And it doesn't seem like you're liking it. You should go on and try cross country. And so having mentors like my brother, having mentors like Mr. Johnson, knowing that I can become a better person through my own self-will and through advocating for me. And I think that's the lesson that I learned through the teachers that I had at Santa Isabel and Salesian, knowing that for me, someone who didn't necessarily advocate for myself for the needs that I had, but had a lot of incredible community partners and a lot of incredible mentors who really understood what needs that I had as a student, not only for myself, but also for my classmates. And through the support and guidance and mentorship of my family and also my teachers, I was very fortunate to not only graduate from high school, but go on to an amazing university like USC. And when I was at USC, I was really shocked, I guess, knowing that there weren't a lot of folks that looked like me. There weren't a lot of students that reflected the community where I came from. I took an American Studies course my freshman year called Race and Class in Los Angeles that looked at the different inequities that exist in the city in terms of education, housing, urban development, transportation, and there was a whole month that we focused on Boyle Heights. And it was so weird for me as an 18-year-old kid sitting in this class talking about this neighborhood as a case study, talking about the history of my background, of where the community where I grew up, and learning about all the inequities that existed. And that really helped inform my decision to go back into my community, to become a teacher, to help inform and to help change the lives of the same teacher and embody the spirit and the support that my former teachers gave me as someone who stands here before you today. And I was fortunate enough to graduate from USC and then run for my local neighborhood council. And when I was part of the local neighborhood council in Boyle Heights, realizing that there's a lot of changes that need to be done within the community, knowing that there's a lot of supports that a lot of pathways that need to be built for students who may need more support, or for students or for families who may need more access to resources, and realizing that through those supports in the classroom and outside of the classroom, I decided to go on to UC Berkeley to get my master's in public policy, and then come back to the neighborhood to really inform the decisions that are being made in Los Angeles, as now working for an organization called Educators for Excellence, where I'm supporting teachers to become advocates of their own classroom and outside of their classrooms. Because at the end of the day, in order for you to continue to be successful, it's not only the work ethic that you've done to get to where you are today, it's not only the amazing credentials and the accomplishments that you've done, but it's also about the support that you receive from your family. It's also about the support that you receive from your friends. It's also about the support and guidance that you'll continue to receive from teachers that will inspire you to do great things. So I encourage you to continue to do well, and just to have high expectations, and to just continue to exceed those expectations, because at the end of the day, you're going to want to give back to your community. It's one thing to know that there are amazing things at schools like Santa Isabel or Salesian, that there are doors that they'll open up for you. But you got to realize that you can't close the door behind you. You have to make sure to open more doors for other people. And just to give you an example, when I was at Salesian, I was given the opportunity to go to Obama's first inauguration back in 2009. And that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for folks like Mr. Johnson, like Mr. Ibarra, folks who were able to identify, like, these are opportunities that we want to give back to you. And realizing that in order for you to make the change that you want to see in this world, in the communities that you're serving, you have to make sure to open those doors for other people. So I encourage you to do the same when you go off to high school, when you graduate from college. I encourage you to come back to your communities. I encourage you to support the students who are currently in kindergarten right now, students who aren't even born yet, students who don't know who you are, who will need your help one day. So before we go on to the next part of tonight's evening, I want to make sure that we recognize the families and the parents who are here today. So if you're a family or a parent, please stand up so we can recognize you. I was just telling my parents that I can't believe it was, gosh. So I received the Excellence in Education Award back in 2003, 2004. Well, I don't know. It was a while back, and also receiving it as a senior at Salesian, and realizing that these moments, they're so special because your parents and your families are going to remember this for the rest of their lives. And I want you to realize that the accomplishments that you've made thus far is incredible, and I want to make sure that you celebrate and have fun. But knowing that this isn't the end of your journey, this is only the beginning. And making sure to use this as a launching pad, but also to get other people with you on that launching pad. Another metaphor that folks like to share is that not only opening doors for other people, but also imagine that you're in a building and you are going into an elevator and you click on the highest floor possible. You're currently on the highest floor right now. But the most important thing you need to do is click that button that says that goes back to the lobby to bring more folks up with you. And I think it's important to do that and make sure to go back up and down, because at the end of the day, it's not going to mean much if you're not supporting other people to get to where you are today. So I want to congratulate you for the work that you've done so far, and I'm really inspired and proud of every single one of you. So thank you.
another friend of me when I have to run for political office. It's going to be you, I guess, now. But on behalf of Salesian High School and Sacred Heart High School, we're going to present you with the Spirit of Salesian Award in your excellence education for the community and giving back up and down the stage. I thought you were going to do, but congratulations. And to help you, stay away from the cheesecake. You have to run tomorrow. Congratulations.